Welcome to the Paintball Lounge. And today I have a special guest with me, the owner of Undr, as well as the promoter of Bunkerfest, Chris. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
So let's get started with your business with the paintball community. Like how they all started from you.
So we started 14 years ago in a barracks room, making headbands and goggle straps. That's how we got started.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of us, we were like as a team. We all were military guys around Camp Lejeune and the
Right.
surrounding area. So that's where Undr came from as a team. And then, as all things, it was expensive, so we tried to sell some headbands, do some goggle straps, and in between deployments, just kept coming back and doing more of this over and over. And you know, fortunately, we've been able to stick out and
Right.
still be here 14 years later.
And you played on a team by any chance? Like what kind of team did you play on?
I mean, I probably play like 18 events a year, so anything from X Ball, 5-man,
Mhm.
Woods, Mech. Normally, I'll play with the VM guys lately.
Right.
But 406 Finest out of Montana. That's like the homies.
Right.
But I mean, I've played probably on like 30, 40 teams.
So you play like all of it. Like you did not
Yeah.
have a specific type. You play like every single thing that involves with paintball.
Yeah. Like we were at Chicago for ICPL. Was it last week? I think it was, or 2 weeks ago. And then
Mm-hmm.
next week I head to WCPPL for X Ball.
Right.
Get done with that. Practice for Cup. We'll play 5-man. We'll play 10-man, 7-man. Um, X Ball as well for that. So and that'll cap off the year.
Right. So to finish off the year, but keep it playing. So like what made you like to know that this paintball is like now part of your life? Like
Um,
was it adrenaline or was it like just
I
getting
mean, probably a little bit of that. I think for myself, like I just enjoyed the sport,
right?
something to do in my downtime, while in the Marines.
Expensive sport.
Yeah, there was plenty of times like Restock and myself. He helps participate and run MVPS, and I remember one year he was living on my couch,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we played 4 tournaments that month.
Oh wow!
And if I didn't have a meal card, I probably wouldn't have eaten because like literally every dollar I had went to go play paintball. And the CFOA and EPL and a couple other leagues that were going down there in the Carolinas. Right. So I mean, I don't know. Like for myself, I enjoy it, and as I've gotten older, it's just about seeing my friends more and more.
Yeah, it's more like you got older. It's like you just want to play with your friends. Like you just
Yeah, I mean, I had that ambition of like going pro and all that kind of nonsense. I think we all have at some point.
Yeah, I mean everybody does. I mean, even some of these younglings they want to like achieve that goal. Of, hey, I want to go pro. But
Yeah,
the more you get into it, you're like, I just want to do this for just with my friends and just
yeah,
have a good time.
like last year, like I podiumed 11 events,
Mm-hmm.
like top 3 and above. I think I won 7,
Right.
a couple seconds, a couple thirds. So it's like had one of the best years of my career last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I've played all the way up to D1. Played in the trenches of 3-man in the woods and whatnot. We all started back in the day. So like I just like playing.
Right.
It's just something fun to do and look forward to. And more as I'm doing this more and more, it's just about seeing my friends having a good time. And if we podium, we podium. If we don't, we don't. I don't
right. In the end, it's you're doing this with your boys, and you're having a good time and making memories because that way when you go back, you be like, oh, I remember playing this tournament, or playing this scenario with my boys from home, and those last forever. Because the trophies and everything, they're just items. You can buy a trophy for crying out loud.
Yeah,
but the
true.
memories is what counts. And so another thing is this. This is so everybody knows you when you go on Twitch as the bear cave or something.
Yeah. So it was like when I was streaming for a little bit, I was just trying to do something that was fun,
yeah,
eye catching. So like if I was streaming on Twitch, it was like welcome to the bear cave. Just using that kind of moniker that I've And like it was funny because like when we did the bear, it was probably like I'd say like 3 or 4 years ago. People started calling me like bear and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I kind of got the name the nickname from the community, which is pretty cool. So I was like, oh, I'll just keep running with the theme with it.
Right. So yeah, that's why everybody call you now like the bear. Like it's, are you talking about bear? Oh, you're talking about Chris.
Yeah, it's just funny.
It's that's what you're best known for, and is that where the idea for Under's emblem was just ran with you, just the bear?
Yeah, it definitely has stuck with us. Like, the
Hmm.
idea was while I was stationed in Washington,
Right.
and you know, it's trying to figure out a logo for what Under was. But when originally we just had a U and a P for
Right.
underprivileged, and so it's trying to put something that was more identifiable to what we're kind of what I was trying to create.
Right.
And the item that stuck out the most was a bear, and the
Yeah.
reason for it is like, all of this has been a struggle. Like there's
Yeah.
no, especially in paintball, everything's a flash fire if you're gonna do a good product or have a good run. And so
Oh yeah.
you've got to take the ups and the downs, and in between deployments and
Hmm.
whatnot, it was always difficult for the time of like trying to do products and whatnot. And so when I was sitting there, I was like, a bear is like one of those very few animals that has to survive on its own, regardless of the situation. It's almost a very solitary animal the entire part of its existence. And so that really kind of stuck with what um, understood for is,
Hmm.
you've got to sacrifice and you have to do what it takes to survive and thrive and go forward and,
Yeah.
try to wrestle those ambitions. And so it just stuck with us, and had a guy who dropped the logo. He was a
Hmm.
Navy vet, and
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah, and it was fun working with him for a while.
Hmm.
And the bear is just stuck, and so we've been
And to be
using it.
honest with you, having a bear is actually very powerful.
Yeah,
It's kind of like one of the three animals I respect, and one is wolf, bear, and lion.
yeah,
Um, it's because they're powerful and they stand a kind of like a saying, kind of like a meaning for it.
it's funny. Like everywhere I go, I will see a bear. Like if I'm traveling anywhere, it's just
Mhm.
almost immediate. Like I will see a bear, whether it be on a
Right.
billboard, or it's on a wall, or it's on luggage, or it's somewhere. Like it's always there. And so it definitely helps with the reinforcement of like what we're doing. And then the
Mhm.
other part too is we get tagged in all kinds of stuff all the time. If there's anything to do with bears, I get tagged in it, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So
Even we'll get to the part about LEX, but even when here in Louisiana with LEX and Drew and all them, and we see what the product create, and it's just phenomenal.
I
And
mean, like it's just always trying to like just do better. I mean, and just trying to
yeah,
get better, and it's tough because like I don't have we don't have millions of dollars, so everything's self funded, and it's just trying to always make the product better and always trying to get
oh
better.
yeah,
And like we were sitting at Chicago 10 Man, and the guy's like, "When's your next pants coming out?" I'm like, "Well, like how do we make the current pant better?" And he's like, "I don't know if you really can." And I'm like, "I know that's where I'm kind of at," and it's like
hmm,
it's always trying to improve on what we've already established as our standard.
hmm,
And that's the tough part, because it's like I feel like we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing. We're doing it as best as we possibly can, and then
right.
it's always trying to improve upon that. And sometimes that's difficult. And
Oh
so,
yeah, it's very difficult, especially with the economy the way it is. It's it's also hard to get like your new product out and all the existing products with it,
yeah,
so people can experience this top of
and
the
it's
line.
and
Like,
it's tough because like paintball is
oh yeah,
very secular in people's thoughts. So it's like I tell people all the time, it's like we get one opportunity
yeah,
to get a new customer because there's a lot of fanboyism, and like guys will just not leave certain brands, and it is what it is.
yeah,
Nothing to them. So it's like we get an opportunity. It's like we have to have the best possible product
hmm,
that first initial time because
right,
there's not going to be a second opportunity.
yeah,
And
exactly.
typically, if we get a second opportunity, those guys will stay with us for the longevity of their team.
Right. And so back to the subject of you played in ICPL that was recent. How was that? Like,
I had a really good time. The refing was probably some of the best I've seen all year, and I'll use that
well,
sarcastically.
that's saying something.
Um, yeah, but I mean, I had a good time. Um, I I've never played at Badlands, so it was the first time I've gone there.
Hmm.
And I had a friend who took me on. He's like, the only time Badlands is ever worth the shit is when a tournament will come in. Any other time of the year, I guess it's like one of the worst fields in Chicago, which really sucked because like looking from the outside in, I was like, this place is really nice.
Hmm.
They've got a lot of room, and they
Right.
can definitely do more. Obviously, it's always one of those things, but apparently, just like all things, they don't want to invest the money, which I understand.
Right.
Um, but NXL did a great job with the venue. It was easy to traverse, from the two hyperball fields and the woods field. All the tent set up if you needed staging. So I mean,
Hmm.
overall, NXL did a really good job. I thought the fields were nice. I thought the iconic zipper field was fun to play.
Right.
And then the same thing with the other hyperball field
And
was fun as well.
did you get the chance to face like I think it was Team 13?
No,
Oh, that
no, I
sucks.
wanted. They were, I think, in B or C. I think we were in
Right.
A. But yeah, we didn't match up
Oh,
against those guys. I
oh,
seen Drew and I talked to him, and I seen Logan and all those guys in the morning.
yeah.
And then as we were packing down on Saturday, Drew came by and we had a couple beers together and
Oh,
chatted.
that sucks. That would have been a good match to see you and him go at it. Like you, that would. Hey, I wouldn't. I would love to see that on video.
It's always funny because people are like, oh, I shot you, Chris. And it's like, all right, man, like there's still
Yeah,
nine other guys on this team. Like I'm just one of them.
yeah, but it's still like it's just having that moment, like seeing that two guys that respect each other so much going at it. It's kind of like seeing Mad Hodge and Logan at the beer
Yeah.
gas. Like it's just that you just have to see it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've heard so much
I,
about. Go ahead.
I would definitely suggest anybody to go play ICPL. It's a good time. Or
Oh
and
yeah.
in general, like any woods event. I know there's like the WCPS World
Yes.
Classic Paintball Series. I think they're going on in St. Louis in a couple
Hmm.
weeks. Um, there was one in Sacramento. I'm not a fan of Sacramento. Not, and this isn't anything like Dave's field or anything because I know Dave's got really good fields. I personally hate fucking Sacramento because it's stupid hot. But I know they have an event out there, and then I want to say there's the one in Florida
Hmm.
at
I
at
think that's a
Gators
sunshine.
Field.
That isn't that
The
the sunshine event.
No, it's not the ICPL series. There's another series that has an event going down
Mm,
at I want to say it's Artsfield, but I can't remember. I want to say it's in Florida for sure. It's like
okay.
Jackson.
I mean, Florida's always having
Yeah.
I, you can't talk about paintball without talking about it in Florida.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. But yeah, I would love, honestly, I would love to play ICPL. I've seen so many videos about it.
It was fun. I had a really good time.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
it wasn't
breath of air.
wasn't yeah, I mean it wasn't like you get 10-year guys, it's pretty cheap. So it's not like
Yeah.
a big financial commitment. It's definitely more of a relaxed atmosphere. And that's like one thing I do like about the mech scene is it's older guys and it's for the most part it's pretty chill.
Yeah, it's
You'll
also
still have the
like
chipping between teams and talking shit and things like that, but the overall
yeah,
atmosphere is it's not as hectic or demanding
right.
as an X Wall tournament where everybody's high tension and everybody's fucking worried about playing the best they can for those 4 matches. It's obviously you want to go out there and win and play, but that's not
Mhm.
really to me people's demeanor when they're out there.
Yeah, and I agree with 100% because it's a breath of fresh air and to play like a woods ball or anything mechanical reason, even scenarios. I played let's see, I think it was D-Day back in like well, it was a couple years back, and I had blast. I was just
Played
shooting.
D Day when I was 16.
Yeah, it's just the fresh of air. You just play mechanical and not without having that crazy adrenaline, people talking smack or anything. You're just
Yeah,
going there, just spend money and just have a good time, especially seeing other places around the world that you never thought you would go to.
yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely love to play an ICPL or any of those mech tournaments. Kind of, I'm actually playing. one this Sunday at LAX.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and that was an interesting that was an interesting thing happened.
It's good to see that Paul is really like doing a lot to make
Oh yeah.
guys more involved, and definitely using Drew's field to the most possible potential. And
Oh
it's good
yeah.
to see that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that because you are like the pillars of how making LEX the way it is right now. So
That's all Drew, man. Like
no,
we
it's
went out
fun.
there. We went out there 6 months or so, or 9 months, and had our first kind of
Right.
meet up with Drew. And I told him like, hey, this is what we're looking to do, and he's like, all right, let's make it happen. I'm like, and it was funny because I was like, I need 3 fields. He's like, oh, we can get two. I was like, all right, well, 2 days, we'll do 2 fields on 3 days then. And just instantly,
Yeah,
just
and
transitioned. And Drew definitely busted his ass to make all
mhm.
that possible.
Oh,
And,
I
and hands
remember.
down, like, there's us on the promoter side hosting
Mhm.
the event and whatnot, but on the other side of the table is he gave us the fields and the atmosphere to be able to do what we want to do and make it successful.
Right, and that's one thing I want to talk about is Bunkerfest of Mardi Gras. Um, how was your experience now? I know you probably been to New Orleans before, but
Nope.
oh
Nope.
really?
So like the first
You're
time that we
joking.
went, no, the like
Oh
I've been through LA, or sorry, I've been through New
wow,
or Louisiana several times, but I've never stopped at NOLA. So
wow.
when the first
How?
time that I went was just like a day in, day out, just to meet, because
Mhm,
Paul was like, hey, I think this will be a good thing. So I was like, all right, make the contact with Drew and we'll
mhm,
talk. And so flew out there, with myself and Sergeant Major, and we did our kind of first rock walk. Okay, this is what needs to happen. This is like the baseline of what we need, and then we went out there um, 60 days before that, and then we went out again 30 days before that, and we could see the improvements. And so the first time, or like the real first time for me to enjoy the sights and sounds of New Orleans was during
mhm.
Mardi Gras. And I
Oh,
didn't even know it was Mardi Gras because everybody was like, "Oh, it's next week," and we offset the event a couple weeks after Mardi Gras to help with the tickets on pricing and hotels,
right.
all that kind of stuff. But Jeff and myself, we went out and had a lot of cultural appreciation throughout downtown, all over, and I mean, I loved it. And it was funny because I was leaving the airport after that Monday, and
Mhm.
I was like, I'm gonna miss this place. And I'm definitely looking
Oh,
forward to coming
wow.
back. I'm gonna look forward to coming back here in 2024. Um, but it definitely, I can see why people have the draw
Mhm.
and the desire to live in that area, despite all of
The
the
crime
constant
and
hurricanes. And I mean, I'm gonna, I didn't see any crime. I just seen a lot of
that
drunk people,
that
which was
good thing, but yeah, I mean, even past, the negativity that people shots on New Orleans and, Louisiana in general because of, you know, all this talk and everything, it's really a great place to be in. Like, it's
yeah. I mean,
humble.
I definitely enjoyed my time down there, and I
Oh,
would
yeah,
suggest
without a
anybody that
doubt.
goes down there.
Just next time you come down here, it should be for Halloween because that's where the kicker comes in.
Yeah, that would be
For
fun.
that. But yeah, you coming down here was actually a great thing, especially for me for experiencing something because never get the chance to travel or like travel a lot and knowing that hearing that you were coming here, I was stoked. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be big,
For
and it was.
myself, like it was. I grew up on all the War Pig and
Mhm.
Trauma Head videos and stuff like that.
Right,
And so it's like one of those things, like I wanted that kind of feel to come back.
right.
And I wasn't concerned with
Mhm.
how big the tournament was. I was more focused with how awesome can we make this event. And
Oh,
so that's what I always seen as all of the events. And anybody who knows Mardi Gras was a huge mud pit, lots of fucking rain.
oh yeah, it was last year
When
was
you and then you go downtown, and then you get shit faced, and then you forget that you got an 8 o'clock game. So for us, it was like really amazing that we had perfect weather the entire weekend, and that we were able to recapture and cultivate
Hmm.
that nostalgia from the past. And to me, that was the most important piece. And that's why I look forward to going back.
Hmm.
And then in the same aspect is like that's what we're trying to capture with
Right.
our
It's,
events is to have that memory,
mhm.
that you had a good time, that it was in a way, um, picture perfect. It'd be
It,
the
it,
best
wa-
way to describe it.
Yeah, it was not going to be perfect, but you know what? It was just that time like you didn't play at the event, but going to it, it makes a lot happen because especially like the crawfish. I mean, come on. In
Yeah.
Louisiana, you gotta have the crawfish. It's like tradition.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the whole crawfish thing. Someone was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do take care of it, all of it. We're gonna pay for everything." I was like, "Oh, kick ass, dude! Like, that'd be awesome."
Mhm.
Because I had
Yeah.
enough shit on my plate, and that was like the last thing I really needed to do was try to feed a couple hundred people.
No.
And of course, fucking last minute, he's like, "Hey, dude," he totally just like fell off the face of the earth. And so I hit up Drew and I was like, "Hey, man, like people are expecting food that we already said that we're going to provide, so I need you to help me." And Drew came to the rescue again, and I think he cooked up like 120 pounds or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it was about that.
And we gave out boats, and
Mhm.
fucking
I
smashed
remember.
through all. It was good. So
Yeah, it was perfect season and everything. It was great. But yeah, I had to thank you for like coming down, like to even suggesting come down here for Bunkerfest, and it was pretty awesome. And
and it's like for me, like I tell guys this is like, we keep asking like what's next and what's on. It's like, well, I want to focus on Texas. I want to focus on that and then give that my
yeah,
full attention.
let's talk
And
about
then
that. Like
and
the
then going into the next years is
mm,
I want I my heart wants to travel. So it's like, you know,
understandable.
go, we're gonna go back to Mardi Gras around the same
Oh
time,
yeah,
probably March, April. Um, and then can we go other places? Maybe St. Louis, because it's been brought up. Jacksonville's been brought up. Other places that have not had a paintball tournament in a
hmm
long time,
hmm
and not be worried about the how many teams we're going to get. Well, we need X amount of teams to pay for it. It's like we can have a great time and make it fun and enjoyable, and hit our metrics, and not be concerned with the quantity, and more focus on the quality.
right,
And for us, that's like the biggest thing. And so, you know, going forward, it's like how do we sustain one the home front, and then two have these small single events that don't pertain to anything besides you showing up, having a good time with your friends, and enjoying your weekend with your boys.
right, understandable. So I've noticed that you announced it about a couple months ago that next year you're gonna have 3 or 4 in Texas.
Yeah, so we're doing a full series. We'll announce all the dates and stuff later this year.
What made you like suggested doing your own series in Texas? Like what?
So Bunkerfest originally started in Texas, and it was a
Hmm.
series back in 2014.
Hmm.
And so it's just bringing that back out from the vault,
Right,
and that that was one of those other. It just it's kind of grown into it.
right,
So in that one respect, it's like, okay, well, we were able to do this. Now, what else can we do? And so that's kind of where it's come from in a
right,
way. And so for us, that's what I was like, well, I want a new challenge. Okay, well, what's our challenge? Let's make a series. And for us, like we want to see a change of culture. We want to try
hmm,
something fresh and new, and then we want to bring what we've already established that we know we've been able to create
right.
to Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is home to like a lot of good tournaments, and knowing that your Bunkerfest is going to be when I looked at the website, y'all's website, it showed that it was going to be at Giant Sports, if I'm
That's
not,
correct.
yeah, and that's actually going to be big and pretty awesome because they have a great facility and everything.
Yep. We're
And
definitely looking forward to going out there.
oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, hopefully I will be part of that because I would love to see that, especially since you got posted for Halloween Havoc. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be really good.
So, like originally, we were going to do it. It was supposed to be this this weekend or next weekend, or the weekend after. I
hmm
can't remember. Originally, that's what we were going to do. We did Mardi Gras, and we were going to have an end of the year event around this time.
Right,
But we decided to reel off and just go ahead and postpone it till the next year because the biggest thing is one, we don't want to rush anything that we do.
right,
We want to make sure that we're doing it right, we do it perfect, and our standards are upheld. So we're like, well, and then the other part too is like player fatigue, right? There's this tournament, there's this tournament, this tournament. No one like, will people participate? Sure. Can they afford to? That's the tough part. So we'll just go ahead and back off the throttle and then recock for the next season. And
right.
stuff like that is mindful because like just myself, like I travel probably 2-3 times a month, go play a tournament. So I understand. Now, granted, I'm in a very advantageous position to be able to go do that. But for most people, they might get 1 or 2 tournaments a year, and especially if they got to travel to those said tournaments, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
Especially with now how everything's fucking 10 times more expensive.
yeah, it's like ridiculously high, and especially when it comes to like air travel. So mostly, I think mostly a lot of people have been doing air travel, or if they drive, I don't
Yeah.
know. But I understand, man. I understand completely. And it's getting prices going up high, paint is going up high, so it's taking that break so people can recuperate, regenerate, and wait for and practice and also get ready for that series because I'm gonna tell you plain now, that series is gonna be amazing.
We've got a
It
lot of
really-
stuff planned. Obviously, we're kind of being tight-lipped around what we're going to do.
Mhm.
So, anybody listening, we're going to have our first kind of sneak peek
Right.
this Friday. We'll have the first kind of you know um,
Yeah.
sound blast, if you will, on Friday. Then we'll do another one in the following week, and then obviously Cup will happen, so nothing will go on
Yeah.
that. And then
And then it's
right
off
after,
season.
yep, and then right after Cup, we're open the floodgates.
Yeah, that's understandable. So let's talk about your status of like as a kind of like marketing what comes to under and everything. Like, how does that feel to you? Like, knowing that you're not just a player, but you're actually an owner of Under. Like, does it help you
Um,
like in any point? Because I saw
no,
because I
I
saw a
don't.
lot you do a lot, especially for
I
the
mean,
military.
I always try to give back, but like I guess for myself is like all of this is just kind of happening. I mean,
Right.
and just trying to be humble about this. I know that at any given point, this can be gone,
Right.
and I mean, being during the military, the last recession in 2008, like working in the dark, like we didn't have money, so they couldn't turn the power on to the building, so we were just sitting in the dark,
Mhm.
um, doing absolutely nothing, but not being allowed to go home, not getting a paycheck. So I understand how quickly that this can go away,
Right.
and being mindful and respected to that. So
Mhm.
I try to be very humble in that in this space that
Mhm.
and understanding that hey, we've had a great run, and I'm very thankful for that. And tomorrow could be our last day, so we try to give back as much as we can. We try to do all the things that I think about constantly. If I got a wild hair up my ass, I try to pursue it. And being able to do that is very rewarding.
Right.
Sometimes it's it is a failure, but you being able to learn and grow and go forward with it, and so we get a lot of good opportunities from that. And
Right.
again, paintball is about fucking peacocks and um, you know being a
Family.
shitty player but looking fucking great in my $1,700 headband. Um, so it's one of those things like we're trying to like give the best also product we can at an affordable price,
Right.
and and like I said earlier, is like we get one opportunity. So if we do good, that player knows that we do good, then he's gonna tell his friend. And so that's the best marketing that we can.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that completely. I understand that completely, man. Give out the best product that you possibly can at an affordable price to where that they're not being feel like ripped off, and you are also making money,
Yeah.
and that way you
Like
can.
we haven't. I don't think we've raised in the 5 years of like doing jerseys. We have not raised our prices one time. And
Really. Hmm.
and then it's something like we've had our $40, $60, $70,
Hmm.
and $80 jerseys. So you can
Right.
pick whatever you need. We
Right.
don't do sponsorships. Because I tell people all the time, like we don't offer them because we give price points at every budget level.
Right.
And the only guys we honestly sponsor like are the VM guys.
Right.
And
That's
other than
understandable.
that, and this is one of those things like it's like everybody's got to eat. So we try and make it so
Yeah.
that anybody, regardless of where they're at, can get a good product and have something that's affordable and that's going to last them for the season.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, you want you rather them to the where you can make money, like I said, and they can have a good product so they can last them all season until the next time they have to order jerseys.
Yeah. And like
And
for us, as long as the bills are paid and I can buy beer, I'm pretty happy. I don't need to like bend somebody over the coals
well,
to make a quick
does
money.
the beer cast finance your beer? I had to put it there. I had
Yeah.
to.
We're about to ship out their next order. Well, we just got
Yeah.
that.
I don't know if you know this logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So the
me.
original one that he sent me was, and that's why I was like, I had to convert that one. So I'm glad that you sent me the updated one.
Yeah, because
Because
the problem with that is that I got my logo came from a website called Brand Crown or something like that. And so I've been sending Logan like email after email like, hey, just try this one. And then we finally got it like, hey, try this one.
yeah,
So, but I'm
that's like
glad
for us, like we're always trying to work in vector format because like you'll get a better product in the
right.
printing. And so like when we get PNGs and stuff, I got to convert them. And sometimes when we convert them, they're not
Hmm.
very happy.
Right. But I'm glad. I'm glad that it came out, pretty damn well. And he hasn't shown me like the what it looks like. He hasn't shown me yet, and I'm like kind of nervous.
Yeah,
But
I mean, like, so it'll probably the one that I have now is better quality than what was on his, but I mean, I
mhm.
did the best that I could.
Oh yeah,
I like some of the shading's not going to be as prominent
oh
on
yeah.
what we
It
use
doesn't
for his.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter like if the shading or anything, as long as you got this this bad boy right. Just knowing that he's on there, that it means a lot to me. It really does. And I have got comment before about the dragon because it's blue
Yeah,
and dynasty and
yeah.
everything. And I'm like, they have not come after me, so I guess it's all good. and
I don't think they would. I mean,
and believe it or not, this is a gaming dragon. This is a gaming dragon. So it's kind of like if that makes a difference. But no, I'm really am looking forward to see what it looks like, what you did to it and everything because I
I
know
mean, I didn't do too much to it. I just converted it and then
but
and
come
try
on.
to keep. I always try to keep everything as original as we can.
Yeah. I
So,
understand, man. I understand.
what's up,
But
Paul? How you doing, man?
yeah, we got Paul and then Tyler. We also got someone watching, but he or she probably being too shy. Everybody's being too shy. But no, we do have a lot of questions from the fans. I do have a TikTok, and I told them that you're gonna be on here, so they went booming.
Yeah, fire away, man.
All right, so we, all right, we got one from Tennessee. His name is also Chris. Um, he asks, "What is your status as a paintball player? Are you D4, D5?" Um,
I've been D2 for probably since 2017. I hit D1
mhm.
in 2017, and I've been D2 since then. We
Okay, so you,
played semi pro
mhm,
that season,
mhm.
and then I mean, unfortunately, I don't want to brag at me, but I
It's
just win a
okay.
lot of fucking tournaments, so I can't get out of
You can brag all you
D2.
want. Dude, you
No,
can
I
brag.
mean I don't like to. I mean it's fucking paintball, but it just sucks because a lot of my friends are D4, D5, and
Mhm.
D3, and it's like I want to play with my buddies and I can't all the time. So you know,
Right. I mean, all right. So we got another one from. Oh, it's a girl, Michelle. She has this. Have you ever think about doing a girl bear kind of jersey for a ladies team? Oh.
Um, I mean, if they came and asked for it, I don't see why we wouldn't. It just
Mm-hmm.
like all that kind of stuff. Like for anything like that, it's just
Mm-hmm.
on individuals to come.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a lot of stuff that we have on the website, we'll carry it over.
Right.
Say they come in and design it like, hey, do you want to put this on the website so other people can enjoy it? They'll say yes or they'll say no.
Yeah.
And we've had both happen. So
Okay.
to her question, if someone came up and said, "Hey, would you do this?" Absolutely. Obviously, they got to pay for it, and then it's on them if they want to share it with the community or
All right. So we got a guy from Pennsylvania. His name is Travis, and he asks, "Do you look like a Viking?" Oh,
not.
hey.
That I don't think so, but okay.
Like, I guess people are thinking that you and Drew both look like Vikings or something because that's the same guy who
Is the
asked me that
beard?
question. It's a beard.
It's the beard, I guess.
I guess it's a beard. All right. Um, I have to get on a message on him about that crap. All right, so we got Hannah from Alabama, and her question is, uh, where are y'all located from, and how do you like it so far?
So we're located in Dallas, Texas, right outside of Dallas, Texas.
Hmm.
Um, I've lived here since 2014, and I mean, I love Texas.
Everything's bigger than Texas.
I mean, I've grown up all over the country, but
All right.
Texas is now home.
Yeah, Texas is now your hometown.
Yep.
All right. Then we got another one from Mike from Maryland. He's asking, what was your greatest achievement in paintball history? And doesn't even have to be about a tournament. It could be anything else.
Um, I mean, it's I think two parts. Is one, in most recent memory, like today, 8 years ago, I won 10-man World Cup.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, that's an achievement. Um, I think another good achievement in recent memory would be winning a tournament with all my friends on
Hmm.
Memorial Day with all veterans.
Hmm.
Um, as a promoter, one of the greatest achievements I had was bringing Bunkerfest back from the grave
Right.
nearly 10 years later.
Hmm.
And that feeling of everything being said and done and handing out awards and, giving out 30, I think we give out 30 or $40,000 cash. Um, that was probably a highlight. And then getting to replicate that again at
Hmm.
LAX during Mardi Gras and getting to relive that experience, um, I think was a very good culminating event professionally.
Hmm.
Um, so I'd have to say probably those two things.
Right. All right. Then we got Katie from Denver. When are you coming to my hometown?
So the plan is July. The tentative is July,
Hmm.
and we're not. Like I said, we're not going to get out too many details, but we're looking to come out to Denver in July. There has to be some metrics met before we're 100%, but tentatively we're planning to come out there in July.
Okay. That's nice. I mean, hey, I mean, at least you won't be dying from the heat. Not as
Well,
bad.
I don't know. People tell me that Colorado is hot during that time of year, but I don't know if it's going to be like Texas heat or
Denver
I
heat.
don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, but with the goal, and hopefully it is we get sun, and if it is going to be stupid hot, then us on my shoulders is make sure we have adequate
Hmm.
overhead cover and stuff like that, so players have places to stay cool.
All right. So we got another one. His name is Tyler from Utah. He asked, "Are you a snake player, the real player, home? What position you're in?"
All over. I usually play it two. I started playing paintball in the snake, and
Hmm.
then I've gotten old and broken and slow and fat, and so I progressed back. But that doesn't mean anything because I will go from
It's
home
not.
to snake one. I'll go to the Dorito side, go up the
Hmm.
middle. I just try to be as well versed as I can,
Hmm.
and just try to be an asset wherever I'm playing at on the field at that time.
Okay. So so you mostly just like basically you
I,
do it all, but if right now you're just playing home and just play backside.
I mean, like at ICPL, I was running Snake Corner, I was running Dorito Corner, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'd fill up. On the zipper field, I definitely got up into the 40 on the
Mm-hmm.
zipper on
Mm-hmm.
our side. Um, it just depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing and what we're trying to accomplish.
Right. All right. And then we got another one from a person in California asking, when is Bunkerfest going to come to California?
I mean, Mike's got a really good thing going out there, and it would definitely be something that we wouldn't want to go and do. Honestly, Mike's got 120 teams on average,
Mm-hmm.
and the other part too is it's difficult because you've got that player base already established, and then where do you go? That's kind
Right.
of where Mike's at in where he's sitting at is like he's got two parks that he can now go to, Jungle and ASG, to be able to host all those teams.
Right.
And before he had both of those fields, he was out from the split deck. 75% of the teams at location A, and then like D5, and another like 30% at field B, and having to do that conjunction at the same time. So he's got a great problem because he's got all the players coming to these events, but then you run into the logistical challenge of how do you adequately meet
Okay.
the expectations of the players, and so it's difficult.
Right.
You know?
I mean, it's just all location,
Yeah,
and trying to get everything ready.
and I think the other part too of it is like California is unique because like you know how far north is a team going to go from Southern
Right.
California? It is like if you're down in say SoCal, it's
Mm-hmm.
a several hour drive up to Sacramento. It's not like it's just over the hill. You got
No,
to
it's
drive, and players are lazy. Do I want to drive to Sacramento and sit in 102 heat um, and go play a tournament with no overhead? Do I want to
right.
go do that? Even more so, the further north, because it would be kick ass to see an event in say San Francisco area.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. There's
Well,
fields up there, but would players travel that distance to happen?
yeah. Well, and honestly, I would love to see you travel like different places and watch you put on YouTube, like, hey, we went here and we went here, and just watching it. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. All right, we got another one. He's 13 years old. His name is Kyle, and he asks you, "Why do you always play Call of Duty? Why don't have you tried Battlefield?"
So I played Battlefield.
Kind of young for playing
Played
Battlefield.
Battlefield for a while. I've been playing Tarkov lately. I've been playing Tarkov pretty consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Warzone has just gotten tired when they
Thank
took
you.
away Verdansk. I really haven't played too much of it
Mm-hmm.
besides Rebirth. I've stopped streaming as much, which is partially my fault, but at the same time too is I'll be trying to like enjoy my downtime, and people are like, "Hey, where's my order at?" constantly, or they'll see me like doing that, and they're expecting, "Well, he's just fucking off. Why is my order done when I ordered it 2 days ago?" Um, so that has turned me away from like streaming.
Right.
So
That's understandable, but at the same time, it's like, really, guys, come on, just come on.
yeah.
All right, we got another one from Haley, and it's not the Haley from Texas. This one is Haley from Michigan.
Haley, who has my Stitch LV?
Oh, now I want. Oh, what is it? Yours now?
No, where were we at? We were somewhere, and she set her gun down next to my prism drilling, and I was like, "If you leave it here, it's into my gear bag." And she's like, "You can't keep it." I was like, "I don't know. I'm just saying." And
Everybody wants that LV.
it's a good looking LV. Like they did such a great job with it, and it's really good. Because she's such a kind person,
Oh
and
yeah,
she's really sweet girl,
yeah.
and I met her old man at the past couple of events as well, and like they're just good people, and so it's good to see someone with a good heart with such a great gun.
Oh yeah. I mean, I even had her on the show. I think that was my last show. I had her on here, and she's a very nice person. And where you type in Leo and Stitch LV, that's the first thing that pops up, and we're like, "Yep, that's Haley's gun."
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's her trademark. but all right, but this Haley is from Michigan, and she asks, "Have you ever played in Michigan in the snow?"
No, I don't honestly think I've been to Michigan. And if I have, I've just passed through. But I honestly do not believe I've ever been to Michigan. And the
I
last time that I played in the snow was during a CFOA practice
mm-hmm.
back in like 2010 or 2011.
Damn. And oh, she added on to it. If you have played on the snow, how did it felt playing in the snow?
So I was, um, so I flew into North Carolina
Mm-hmm.
and I stayed at John Tinker's house from Baltimore Trauma. And I totally raided his closet. And I was like, hey, dude, I don't have any gear, but I'm supposed to go practice. So he's like, yeah, just go get whatever you need. So I go through his closet, take out whatever I could get my fucking hands on that fit,
Mm-hmm.
and went to the field. I was like, hey, dude, it's like, I don't have fucking anything. Like, so I was borrowing a mask. I think I was shooting the fucking, um, I want to say I was shooting someone's Planet Eclipse gun,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a record rotor. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I was all fucking, layered up. So, I mean, it didn't really matter to me. Um, but I had fun slipping and sliding out there. I've got some pictures of it somewhere on my Facebook page.
Oh God, that would have been like an interesting photo. Like playing in the snow is not easy. I played in the snow before, and it's not easy at all. But it's fun though. All right, so we got Colin from Nebraska. He asks, "What is your favorite type of paintball gun?"
Um, I mean, I'm partial to Luxes. I've been shooting Lux predominantly since 2008.
Okay.
I do like the LV. If I probably wasn't shooting my Lux, I'd probably be shooting an LV. But I've just been partial to the ergonomics and the way that the Lux has shot over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody personal preference. When it comes to the Luxus or LVs, wherever y'all want, it's preferable. It's
I mean, but at the same time, like the way X ball is, like your gun goes down, give me a gun. Go out there, win a point with whatever. I've won points with
wherever
my
they go.
guns, Planet Eclipse guns, Bob Long guns.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a tool, and there obviously is the preference of the tool to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things. If you're a good player, you just quickly adapt, go out there and do what you got to do.
All right, and then we got another person. He's actually from Texas, but he's I can't. Oh, he's like far from Texas, like close to like like Mexico.
Paso area.
Yeah. I can't. Sorry, it went out for a minute. Let me see. His question is this: what is your favorite mask of all time?
Prime Flex 7s, Flex 8s, probably the most comfortable mask. And
Really?
that's what I just grew up on.
Right.
I wore the push ones a couple points. They're comfy. The carbon one, it looks goofy as fuck, but it does work really well.
Right.
But I've always been partial to Flex 7s and Flex 8s.
Okay. And then we got another person named Colin. He's from Maine, and his question is this: what's the deal with veteran militia? Are they a good team, or what kind of
We're
team are
terrible.
they?
We're terrible.
Shots
So
fire.
So for veteran militia in NXL, 5-man, D3 5-man, out of 17 tournaments, we podium 12, I believe. So, and like right now, we're in contention for winning our 5th national championship or series championship. And so, if we can win the series and the event, we might be able to pull that off.
Right.
But we've done that for the last 4 years. So, veteran militia, though, it's not that one specific group is designed to get the best players to go win tournaments. That's its whole sole focus for that one team. But the larger picture of veteran militia is just get guys together. At the end of the day, using paintball as a catalyst or as a tool or a vessel to get veterans to get together, talk, communicate, and hopefully they know that they got somewhere to go to, paintball aside, to open up and discuss any potential issues that they might have.
Right. And that was actually a question I want to ask you. Why is veteran militia have so much like Bravo, Charlie, all these like are they
Well, I mean, you can only put so many guys on a line, so then you got to start making other teams. So World Cup, um, 2 years ago, we had 19 teams. So we had all the way from Alpha all the way down to Zulu, which is 20
are they
25.
like different like divisions or they're all in one team?
Yep, we have like right now we got 13 teams for World Cup. We got 5-man teams, we got X ball teams, we got 7-man teams, we got 10-man teams. So if you're a veteran and you want to play World Cup, we can figure out where to get you at. It's not
Oh,
a
okay. Yeah, because that it was just every time you see the list and I'm like seeing up that veteran militia, I'm like, again? But all right. So our next question is a guy. It looks like a guy who plays woods ball. So, and his question is this: have you even thought about traveling to like Sweden or Europe to play a woods ball tournament scenario?
So I was supposed to travel, and then COVID happened. Like I finally was like, all right, I'm in a spot where I can go take some time to go play overseas. I got friends in Germany. I've got friends in the United Kingdom. They're like, hey man, just come over and we'll get you taken care of.
Mhm.
So it definitely, something that I want to do very seriously.
Right.
And like we got invited, Veteran Militia got invited to go to Poland. So, but it's kind of like last minute. So a lot of guys, don't have passports and whatnot. But it's something for next season. Like we're looking to go to the London event and
Right.
go play ICPL 10 men out there.
Right.
So it's trust me, it's not on me not wanting to go, but
It's just time.
yeah, it's if I leave, I'm going to go there for 2 weeks.
Right.
But
And
I have the little ones and the wife, and obviously I have to take care of Undr. So it's like, what do I do? Just turn the lights off and walk out the door?
yeah, you just had to uh you have to like look out for your family, man. You have to look out for your family, your kids, and you just have to go from there.
Yep.
So, all right, we have another question from uh, Florida, and his question is this: what was your very first marker and your very first year that you ever played paintball?
Um,
That's one of my lightning questions.
let's see. I'll tell you the year. I started playing with when Brass Eagle was king. So it was like
Oh,
95.
oh wow.
I think around like that. Like it was in the mid 90s. Like
So you
94. I think 94 is when I started playing.
oh wow,
Yeah,
so you were there when it all started. Oh, it was still
I mean, yeah.
okay.
Because like my first gun was a Tiger Shark pump, and my buddy showed up. He got one, and I was like, "Whoa, this is cool!" So we were in the backyard, pumping away, and then I got one, and then my other buddy got one, and then also my other buddy shows up with a Piranha. So then we had this little arms race going on, and it was just literally just arms race of who could get the better gun to shoot the rest of our friends up. And we started playing 3-man tournaments in the mid 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and did that around Oklahoma for a long time. And so yeah, it was like 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, something around there.
Okay, so you were so before speedball became speedball, it was still
Yeah,
like you. It was still I call it that around like 1987 or to the 95. I still call
I've
it
been
like
playing for 28 years. Jesus fucking
holy crap. Yeah, um, I still call that the earliest stage of paintball because it was still known as the earliest stage. Um, So then we got another one. He's actually from Oklahoma, and he asks, "What? How is your relationship with Jesse Stevens?"
I mean, I don't think I want to say we're best friends or anything, but we've had several conversations. We talked a lot when he was at Bunkerfest. I think it's probably the most that we talked when he was at Bunkerfest in
Right.
the booth commentating. But seems like a pretty stand up guy. I
Hmm.
have no personal issues with him.
Yeah, it's just some people don't know that. They think that hey, you're in Texas, Texas guy, your buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
I want to say he lives down south, but don't keep me on that, obviously, because I'm not
Nah, I
100%.
don't know. All right, so last question of the day comes from Kimberly from Idaho. And her question is this: what is the best marker, in your opinion, to start out with? And where should I get one?
I think it comes down to your budget. To me, that is what's going to expand your opportunities. If you've got $500 to $700, my suggestion would be go get a amp from Shocker. Like to me, that fucking gun out of the box, like I won 3 tournaments in a row with it, is flat out fucking solid.
So,
Um,
shocker.
yeah, like it's solid. And if you got a little bit more money to spend, you can't go really wrong with like the LV lines. Um, that's also I think another good marker. But it really comes down to your budget, and the other part too is I think with a lot of this is how much am I actually going to play? You know,
Right.
you know, to me, unless you're going to dedicate several weekends a year to go play, there's no real reason to go drop several $100s on a marker. Um, and more so, fucking if you're getting more involved into it,
Hmm.
find somebody at the field and be like, hey, dude, can I rent your stuff for the day? Can I buy
Right.
you a case of paint and let me use your equipment? And then as you kind of get more serious and you know that you're going to get serious into it, okay, now go buy a gun. But if you're just starting out and you don't know really how much you're going to do or get involved with, I honestly wouldn't pursue like buying a marker until like you're like until
Okay.
this sport's got its dirty little claws in your back and you know you're not going anywhere.
Right. All right. So, well, apparently these questions already asked my lighting questions I was gonna hit you with. Little shitheads. Uh, but so let's go ahead and close this off. Any questions that you got for me, man, that I'll answer.
Not that I can think of.
It doesn't have to be about me. It could be about the paintball lounge or anything like that. I am open.
No, I mean I think it's good. I mean, from what I've seen, it's good that more people are starting to do these type of things, and then
Hmm.
there's been more of an outreach of trying to tell everybody's individual stories, regardless of like the levels. So I
Right.
think that's good, and obviously keep that up. It's good to see that there's more uh, saturation of getting people involved and
Right.
and telling stories that aren't always have an opportunity to be talked about.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, there's not a lot. There is not a lot of people who will understand paintball the way
Yeah.
that we do. I mean, there is a lot of podcasts and people out there who does it, but you know, the more that people who do play paintball brings it out to people, oh, cute puppy. um, but yeah, but I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think we have a good session. Thank you, Chris, for coming to the show. Really appreciate it, and thank you for your
Yep.
time. I I really had a great time with this, man.
I will say, just kind of closing. This on other podcasts I've been on. 988. If you are having a mental health crisis, 988 is they have trained professionals 24/7,
Hmm.
65. Reach out to them, talk. If you get in a place where you get dark or you don't know where you can turn to, 988. It's free, and you can also text. So if you don't want to talk to somebody, you can text them. Um, you know, don't don't make it a forever decision on something like that without at least reaching out and talking to people who can help you
Right.
through those
Of
situations.
course, because I've been through that before. I have, and it's not a good. It's not a good feeling. But you know what? It's much respect for you, man, for promoting that to get people to get the help that they need, man. Much respect and love, man.
Yep.
But
So I appreciate you having me on, man.
no problem, man. Thank you for coming, and hope you have a good night. Take
You
care.
as well, sir.
All right, you guys. That was Chris from Bunkerfest slash Undr. And to me, that was a great podcast. I had a great time, loads of fun. Um, really respectful guy. The questions that y'all were asking on my TikTok and messaging me about it, mostly take over the whole course. But I think we learned a lot. I've learned personally a lot about from him, and having him on the show really helped out. Hope to help everybody else out about Bunkerfest and when it's gonna come and everything. But it looks like he's gonna stick around with Under, produce more product and get it out there, and as well as try to get Bunkerfest the way it was back then. And honestly, him doing that is a lot of respect, and I have nothing but respect for the guy. So I think this interview was really fun. I It was just a blast. So if y'all are listening in this or watching in the video part of it, please like, subscribe, as well as support this channel every single which way that you possibly can. Help make this podcast bigger, better, and try to get it out there as much as we can. So I've been your host, Zachary, and I'll see y'all